welcome you, and we are so grateful for your presence with us today.
Dearest ones, we appreciate the opportunity to be for you today at this critical time of self-awareness, of self-realization, for we are able to feel your expectations, this idea that there is more to know about yourself and your environment and how you fit in. Dear ones, a critical juncture for you that many of you are recognizing this aspect of moving from the questioning of the rational mind and activating and ascending into the larger being of who you are, what it is that you are, not just this single incarnation, but the larger trajectory of your soul, its purpose, its evolution and expansion, this integration coming forward to you at this time as you move from your head brain, as it were, down into your heart, activating the energy centers of your chakra and operating more from the fullness of your being.
We are grateful to tell you, as we always shall tell you, that you are adored by Source. You are not tolerated, but adored. Source is not considering you as anything but whole and can only see your wholeness as we can only see your wholeness. We wish you would as well. Stop referring to yourselves as broken and in need of being fixed, for you are whole beings, and you are cared for more than you could ever know. We wish also to tell you that you are here for a purpose during this time and space, as are we, to assist you and so many others in the etheric realm. For an exciting time is occurring on your planet. You are ending an important cycle and beginning another. And we wish to speak of this to you today. For much of what you are experiencing is connected to this ending. And if you think an ending is a gentle landing, this one is not. We shall remind you that there is tumult, and yet we encourage you to remember this is an ending, that things are coming to a conclusion. But we shall tell you a secret. For the ending is not pre-planned for you and not to be experienced by all you unless you decide. For it does not occur to you, it occurs through you. What do we mean by this? We mean to express to you that in fact your decisions about ending what is in this cycle for you, the separation that you feel, the sense that there is something wrong with you, the sense that you must follow certain rules simply for the following, the obligations of your relationships. Many of these things must become a decision instead to move where the universe wishes for your planet to move, which is toward oneness, towards cooperation, towards communal living, your ability to see what is the same among you rather than what is different. You decide when the cycle of separation ends by determining for yourself, I shall not live separated from my source or from all other beings again. So much here to strengthen your resolve, to train you in this way, here even in this building this weekend, and much more available simply for your asking. Yes, this is the time of an ending. It is now yours to decide when.
An important time again with this self-realization of your ability to be in the driver's seat, as it were, to be an important co-creator in your reality through your practices, through your understanding of your abilities as multidimensional beings physically incarnated upon earth. For everything is ascending. The birds, the trees, your pets, and Gaia herself. It is all part of an evolution of consciousness that you can see in some more than in others.
Yes, self-realization, we love this term. For this is why you are on the planet and why you return again and again to a life, wherever it may exist, so that you may learn more about the beauty of your own eternal soul. Self-realization is the order of business now. Your courage to reflect upon what is it that I am made of? What is it that I am capable of? And what is it that I choose? For your life is filled with choices again and again for you to choose how you shall continue forward. These choices are yours, but require your self-realization. And so we remind you again, you are adored. You cannot be wrong. You cannot be in trouble. Source will never turn its back on you, regardless of what the realization is. For it is always an opportunity to choose again. If you are not satisfied with what you have come to realize about those things that separate you from other beings, for example, then there is an opportunity for you to choose again, and an entire universe of beings ready to stand with you and assist you in that.
Indeed, dearest ones, we are excited to have this opportunity of co-creation and communion with you, and we now open to receive your questions of us.
My Starseed family, where are they from?
Your original Starseed is, we believe, the question you are asking us, yes? For you have lived in a number of systems. Your original Starseed, Pleiadian. Yes, Pleiadian. And yet we wish to say a word about this, for we cannot help ourselves. It is important for you to recognize that this is the spark. We will give you an analogy. If you are from on this planet, a nationality, let us say German, and you say, I am German, you know that you are only part of an origin story and not necessarily who and what you are now. Do not give the spark of your interplanetary origin more weight than it requires, for your soul is growing. You are aware of this. Know that in fact, your soul, lifetime after lifetime, continues to expand, for this is all the universe can do. It expands and it creates. And so your creation, the thousands and the thousands of years that was from your original creation, is not the soul today. For the soul today has benefited from every incarnation and has grown in its self-realization. We encourage you never to use your past as an excuse for why you are who you are today, for it is always an expanded choice for you to grow and become something more.
All of your experiences, just like your lineage itself, contributes to the being that you are in this very present moment. Note, dear ones, how critical it is that you are here, uniquely focused in your incarnation at this time for the bringing forward of your own self-realization and the sharing of vibrational frequencies and understanding of oneness as you ascend into the higher dimensional realms.
So the question for you, my love, is what was the purpose of my incarnating on this planet, coming from a Pleiadian origin? For the spark and the soul that you are today have traveled many miles.
How can someone or myself channel source?
We encourage the three things. First and foremost, recognize that you are all connected to source. Yes, you can pinch yourself off well. This is not the case for most of you, or you would not be here today. And therefore, you must begin by saying, there is nothing about me, good or bad, that separates me from communication with Source. For if you begin to reflect, you will see Source has been talking with you, sometimes directly, many times through your guides. For your guides only reflect the energy of Source if they are of the highest energy. And how do you know? If your guides were to tell you what is wrong with you, these are not your guides. These are not from Source. For Source only adores you, as we have said. And so, therefore, it is important to realize that you are drawing messages from Source often, though they are not always pick up the red dress and not the blue one today. They are often much more subtle and much more permeating. These messages that come to you, that tell you where you should be and how. So first, we suggest you accepted the fact that Source is speaking with you often. Second, we encourage all of you to spend more time listening, for you have become a collective who is constantly in distraction. Yes? There are these instruments you use that you're constantly with and on. Many of you cannot survive without some sound going on or some form of entertainment, not all of it to your greatest good. And therefore, we encourage times of silence, for this is how you will be able to hear us. And finally, we remind you that all messages from Source are always based in unconditional love. We are often asked, why can't you tell us of the next disaster? And we would say, why would we tell you of the next disaster? What would it serve you? And you say, well, we would prepare. And we would say, no, you would not. We are aware of what is capable and not. And therefore, there are many messages that you assume are from Spirit that are not the simple guide, is that they are all based in unconditional love and therefore of greatest benefit to all. So begin to listen and begin to jot and begin to allow Source to speak to you, and then notice as it speaks through you to others around you.
Dear ones, you must understand that you are a part of it all. Your origins come from Source itself. Your consciousness is of Source consciousness. The planet, the birds, the trees, the stars are all part of creation and Source consciousness. You are enveloped in it constantly, and we are with you with the intake and the outtake of every breath. We ask you, as an important aspect of your self-realization at this time, not to see yourself as separate, not to go after those things that are eternal, but to focus on the light within and expand that in these quiet moments, most often through an appreciation of a sunrise, the meow or the bark of your cat or dog, or the hug and the smile of a good friend. This is the divine working through you all.
I just have a question about trees. If you're like have a house with a tree and somebody doesn't like it, wants to cut it down.
Dear one, everything is in service, even the trees and even the animals that you consume as your food source. For you must understand that the energy centers of many of the sentient beings around you, your plants and trees and your dogs and your cats and your sources, are all based and understand the vibration of unconditional love. You must appreciate that they are all connected and they all communicate, and yet there is a realization among them when their time is done or they are no longer of service. Indeed, we should say that should the felling of a tree become necessary, that it is done so that it is blessed and returned to Gaia herself to begin anew, always in this respect, perhaps with the planting of the new trees and the talking to them about how much you appreciate them and how they serve.
Here's a good example of listening. For you shall see that the plant beings, active, vibrant beings, such beautiful gifts unique to planet Earth, and that the plant beings themselves have a consciousness like all beings that are living on your planet. And therefore, with a consciousness, they contribute not only to their immediate environment, but to all of the spirit realm. And yet, we would ask the same question. Should your neighbor come up and say, "You irritate me, we should get rid of you," how would you feel? And what would the effect on the universe be? For the question is contribution, decision, choice. What choice is being made at the time? For there are trees that are at the end of their life cycle or willing to give themselves for their wood, for the humans, for they understand their relationship, and not unlike how your food animals understand their relationship and see it as part of their holy mission. Yet, we remind you that it is a decision they make carefully. For we shall let you in to know that they are always giving birth before they are leaving, so that another tree is there to grow. And at times you can see this. Many times you cannot. Some of you start sneezing when they are doing so. They are always doing so, for they understand that they, like you, carry on generation after generation, serving their purpose as is necessary.
I would love to know how to better discern how close or far away each of you are.
We begin always with this. You do know, for you know how it makes you feel. What gets in your way is obligation. We shall remind you of this again, for it is why we raised it earlier. Obligation, where you believe that you must to spare another's feelings or to meet some kind of agreement you believe you have. And yet, if it is not in service for your greatest and highest good, it is likely more coming from you than it is coming from the agreement. Therefore, we encourage you to listen carefully to how the other makes you feel, like your guides. When it reminds you of what is wrong with you, that you are broken, that you are in need of fixing, this is not a relationship that is in your greatest and highest good. Then a choice is ready for you to make. We always encourage you, though, to make it in love. For you have come to believe, many of you humans, that the end of relationship must happen in separation and hatred. And we shall remind you this is not the case. For separation of one another in love is more than possible, and examples abound throughout your history. And so your gentle walking away, I shall leave you in love. For it is not our relationship that is of greatest benefit. And your being able to step away is more than possible.
We remind you, dear one, although each of you the same, each of you are uniquely focused at this time with a unique perception, a unique personality, a unique contribution, and all of you serving like the unique facet of a diamond. The diamond, with its brilliance, can only be seen from afar with the many sparkles of each and every facet that give it its glimmer and sparkle and brilliance. This is each of you, the human race, as you come together in a collective understanding and allowing that each of you are uniquely focused, but each of you are essential.
Therefore, we are saying to you that not everyone who also completes the universe, which is all of you, are necessary to be in interaction with one another, and that you have intersections with other beings that are for a moment, or for a short period, or for a lifetime. Rare that they are for a lifetime, where they have served their purpose with the single intersection at times. Therefore, as you separate with unconditional love, you do so, reminding them that they also complete the universe as you do. They are essential to the diamond's beauty, even though the two of you need not intersect again.
Talk about the plant kingdom and consciousness. Tell us about the mineral kingdom.
Indeed, dear one, the mineral kingdom, the stones, the rocks, and the crystals, all of the chemicals that come together to form them over the millennium, come together with their unique vibrations. Note, much like yourself, none two exactly the same. Note, much like yourself, each serving a unique contribution to Gaia itself, serving to allow for an appreciation of the components that, when brought together, refract light and can contain energy and be programmed to support manifestation and conscious creation. Dear one, we speak specifically now as an example of the crystal skulls that are upon the planet and the consciousness held therein as an example, again, of a unique facet of how the mineral kingdom forms.
And yet the mineral kingdom exists beyond this planet, for it is the building block of the entire universe. Though not always the same, the energies of the universe always first form in such properties, for they are building blocks for much of what is formed not only around you, but you yourself as a composition of minerals and in constant exchange with your minerals. And therefore, they are not just a gift from Gaia herself, but a gift from Source. And from this is where you are able to build so very much the alchemy that has always been available to you, so that you learn how to mix and find these minerals and to use them to your advantage. We shall also advise you that your minerals are perfectly aligned with your own energetic center. Well, of course, for they are made of these minerals. Your own energetic center, which is conducting the energy from the universe, is in fact connected to these minerals, even by their color. And so we advise you, as you look into the many combinations of minerals on your planet, you shall see that they will imitate the colors of your chakra system as a service for you, as a way for you to receive more boost of the energy in each of these centers as they are required. We encourage you to see the many formations of minerals that surround you, even here in this place, and to remark on their beauty, for they are all gifts from Source for you.
A method of creating a new focus to help raise your vibration and to assist you in your alignment and your programming and your creative manifestation. Tools there for you in abundance.
And I would like to know what your thoughts are on the megaliths.
We love such mysteries. They keep you guessing, do they not? You know that there are multiple civilizations here, and that there are multiple civilizations seeking ways to make contact, reaching out, sticking a toe into the water. There are some original structures designed, and not just those, many that have existed on your planet over many millennia, that are other civilizations sticking their toe into yours to say, how shall they react? How shall they respond? What level of curiosity do they have? Remember what we said earlier about your decision of when an era ends. So here's a good example. As you see things like unidentified objects or monoliths or any other of these strange, what you consider to be non-natural occurrences, is your impulse fear? For your conclusion is that there is something untoward that is unsafe for you? Or is your conclusion curiosity and a willingness and an interest in learning more? Cautiously, yes, but an interest in assuming that there is something positive here. But many of you say, but I'd be duped and I would make myself vulnerable. Listen carefully to these beliefs, for they are keeping you in the current era. They are keeping you in this period of time, for it is fear that has dominated separation. Fear that one will take from another. One will take away my share. One will harm me just for the sake of harming me. As you shift these understandings, allow curiosity to consider that there may be quite a different message involved. Regarding the monoliths, we will tell you not all of them have come from other civilizations, for you have tricksters amongst you in your humanity. But we shall also tell you that all of these things are revealed in time. when you are ready. And remember, you decide when that time shall be.
Dear ones, appreciate all of your environment, the sacred geometry, the architectural and ancient wonders of the world that continue to be discovered, and the many questions that are raised when something new enters the consciousness, such as the monoliths, or as you call them, unidentified flying objects. For each and every one of those serves to expand you, expand your conscious awareness into new realms of possibilities, and indeed new relationships with us and your guides, and a strengthening of your own inner knowing, your discernment, and your light.
We hope you have heard what we are suggesting to you today. Many more possibilities for joy than for fear. Please keep these words close to you, for there will be times this coming season for you to choose fear. Remember our words that there is a choice for joy, that you are cared for and protected, you are adored. Hard for some of you to believe, and there is your journey. There is your work. But know we are here with you, and we will not leave you without more opportunities for realization that you are more adored than you will allow yourself to believe. All is well for you. All shall be well for you. And we wish for you to walk away for this more than anything else, for you are adored.
Indeed, dear ones, we are so grateful for you and the light and the contribution that you bring to your own understanding, your own self-realization, and indeed the consciousness of the planet overall. We adore you, and we remind you that you are always carried and you are always cared for. And with this, we are complete. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed that. We are aware of the time. We do remind you, if you've got a phone, to go on to speakingfromsource.com, sign up for all of the new things we've got coming forward. We do a monthly group channeling every month, and you can also book individual sessions with us. You'll also find us on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, and YouTube. We have over 100 videos on YouTube, including a series where we do a new video every week called Everyday Wisdom, because this is about you and your growth and your consciousness. Help us share the messages of the guides. That's our mission, to get the messages of the guides out to as many people as possible at this time.